Venkatesh, thanks so much for coming on. Great to meet you. You have been working on developing healthy alternatives to the existing starchy snacks we have available today, and the product you developed is based on mushrooms. Can you first tell us a little bit about this work and why snacks made of mushrooms are so promising?
Okay, thanks for this opportunity. So I work on mushrooms. My research at the University of Houston, I started with Michigan State University and moved to University of Houston. My primary passion is mushrooms because mushroom has got a lot of healthy nutritional products, nutritional value products. So looking at various snacks that are available in the market, the common one, is potato chips full of starch and full of oil, full of salt. That's what we try to crunch. And it's a nice snack to go along with other food. So there are several billion tons of these products made every year and produced. The problem is the stuff which we eat, because many people are not aware of what we eat. We are eating starch. So if we eat starch, and we have saliva comprised of amylase, which breaks down starch very quickly, that builds up sugar. And too much of sugar is not good for our body. So, our system needs insulin to metabolize the sugar. And otherwise, if we eat too much sugar, that means you need too much insulin. And our system is capable of producing a certain amount, and too much of sugar adds more complications like diabetes and hypertension, other kind of problems. So I was looking at a healthy alternative and looking at various vegetables and options. And I found mushroom very fascinating because mushroom does not have any starch, zero starch. I said, okay, let me think about this option. I was looking at various mushrooms. And then I figured out a particular variety of mushroom was very, very appropriate. And when I slice them, they look like potato chips. So interestingly, I also found they have a good amount of proteins, vitamins, minerals. So I baked them and produced a characteristic similar to that of potato chips. And it became a sensation and people started liking it. And then eventually I did some research on this, did some systematic study, doing some analysis, laboratory analysis, and also testing with people with the sensory characteristics. And then eventually I was able to publish a paper. So I believe my motivation is basically to help people get away with a traditional starchy snack, starchy, salty, oily snack with high fiber, high protein, nutrition rich mushroom alternative, which can make people healthy and also don't have the guilt of eating junk food.
In your recent research, you also looked at popular healthy alternatives such as multigrain chips and mixed vegetable snacks. Why are these healthy alternatives so much better than the starchy snacks?
Yes, funny part is we like to fry everything. So for example, you see a carrot, it's a very healthy one. Eat as it is good, but to preserve, to store, to transfer, and to sell, we need shelf stability. So what they do, they have to dehydrate it. And when you do a normal dehydration, remove just water by freeze drying, it does not taste that good. So what they do is they fry it. So everything we just keep frying, and frying. The problem is when you're putting salt-rich vegetables into oil, they try to absorb a lot of fat. And that increases the fat content of the stuff. So even the mushroom, they just put in oil and fry and then sell. That's what they do. So what is different we would like to do in this case is we want to bake it. So that is the outlier here in this case. We want to bake it and we want to create that same kind of texture and characteristics as potato chips, but we don't add any fat. And we don't add any salt because mushroom naturally does not have any sodium. So we don't add any extra salt. We add just salt or any kind of flavoring agents just to taste a little bit better and good. That's all we do. So that is what the differentiating factor. Look at the what's called the composition and also the nutritional facts. So this is almost a good fat. They are all mono and unsaturated fatty acids. That is essential, like omega-6 fatty acids that are essential for our brain and heart development. So that's what is a differentiating factor.
Talking more about the mushroom snacks, what consumer groups do you believe will be interested in these high protein snacks?
Yes, looking at anybody can eat this snack. Okay, there is no restriction, but I feel particularly it is more attractive to kids because kids are the one who snack a lot. So giving them a healthy alternative is good. And also sports people, particularly they need more protein in their food. And people with diabetes will be a very good target. If you look at the current diabetes statistics, 1 in 3 people in the world has diabetes. So it's a huge problem. So diabetes leads to other complications, including eye problem, heart problem, kidney problem. So it's not going away. So if we cannot treat diabetes, we can at least manage the diabetes and symptoms. So one way to do that is eating healthy. And we try to snack a lot. The thing is we forget about what is in the snack. We just keep snacking them, we forget them. So that's what I feel like. This is a good snack for sports people, kids, sports people, and also people with diabetes.
So what challenges are still to be overcome to further optimize the method of producing these mushroom protein crisps?
So that's a good question. So anything sounds healthy should also be economical so that people can afford to buy them, right? So currently we did a techno-economic analysis to figure out what will be the cost. The biggest cost factor is the cost of mushrooms, right? So if we can reduce the cost, how can you reduce the cost of mushroom is mass manufacturing, right? So conventionally, currently, based on the market price of mushroom, what we buy and produce, the cost is 2 to 3 times more expensive than a potato chips. So that will take people off. Oh, it's too expensive. So we did a cost analysis, and we told that if we can produce them more than like 10 tons of these potato chips, then we can bring down the cost by half. That means, for example, $3 to $1.50, still a little higher than potato chips, say what, $1 per pound. That's where it stands. So if this becomes a huge hit and there is huge demand, then automatically the economy of scale, the cost of product will come down. So eventually it can cost compete with potato chips and other kind of snacks.
Venkatesh, thank you very much for sharing all that and best of luck with your product. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.